What does vitamin D have to do with COVID-19? Stick around and you'll find out. Vitamin D is the term used for a group of molecules that our bodies use to regulate calcium and phosphorus levels. This might not sound interesting, but as it turns out, it's quite important for a number of reasons. But first, how do we even get vitamin D? There's two main ways. One is through the foods that we eat, such as fatty fish or egg yolks, and the other one is through the sunlight. You've probably heard of UV rays, a type of energy that the sun gives off. Through a series of interactions with molecules in our skin, our bodies are able to take UV rays and turn them into vitamin D. It's kind of like how plants use photosynthesis in their leaves to turn sunlight into energy, except we turn sunlight into vitamin D. But there are many factors that play a role in our body's conversion of sunlight into vitamin D. First, not all UV rays are the same, and we kind of got the evolutionary short end of the stick when it comes to the kind of UV rays that we could use. While our bodies can convert UVB rays into vitamin D, we can't really do anything with UVA rays, which are significantly more abundant. UVB rays are also much more dangerous than UVA rays, and these are the kind of UV rays that lead to sunburns and skin damage. And you may think that you could just sit inside on your couch and get the sun through the window, but UVB rays cannot pass through a glass window, unlike UVA rays which can, and by the way, will still cause damage through the window. Many other factors also play a role in a person's vitamin D levels. Environmental factors such as the season, the time of day, and the latitude relative to the equator will play a role in how strong the sun is, while biological factors such as age, body fat content, and skin color also have an influence as well. So why is vitamin D really important? Well, as I said, vitamin D is used to regulate the body's calcium and phosphorus levels. Calcium and phosphorus are both really important for bone growth and development, so people who don't get enough vitamin D are at risk for bone diseases such as osteoporosis and rickets. Vitamin D deficiency has been linked to other diseases as well, such as MS, various cancers, cardiovascular disease, and even diabetes. It is also apparent that vitamin D plays a major role in strengthening our body's immune system and can stimulate our body's immune cells to create antibodies which will fight foreign invaders. Clearly, vitamin D plays a huge role in critical biological processes, so it may surprise you that up to 50% of the world's population has insufficient levels of vitamin D, and up to 1 billion people are actually vitamin D deficient. So what does all this have to do with COVID-19? A number of papers have been published recently suggesting a link between vitamin D levels and the clinical outcomes of patients with COVID-19. A study conducted in the Philippines found that patients who had higher levels of vitamin D were much more likely to have a mild case of COVID-19, some being up to 20 times more likely to have a mild case than a critical case of COVID-19. Another study examining 20 European countries found that countries whose populations had lower vitamin D levels tended to have more cases of COVID-19 and also more severe cases. Finally, a group in Indonesia found that a large number of their patients with insufficient or deficient vitamin D levels ended up dying from COVID-19. This finding is supported by the fact that those countries of higher latitudes have a higher mortality rate compared to those closer to the equator. So all in all, it seems that low levels of vitamin D might be linked to more severe cases of COVID-19 and might even increase your chances of dying if you have the disease. All these findings are very recent, so we don't really know exactly how this mechanism works, but we could speculate. As I mentioned, vitamin D is known to strengthen the immune system, so it makes sense that a weakening of the immune system would lead to more severe clinical outcomes. If you've seen my 5 myths about coronavirus video, you'll remember that one of the reasons that there's an increase in flu cases during the fall and winter months is that there's less sunlight. Less sunlight means less vitamin D is produced, and less vitamin D production means a weakening of the immune system. Multiple clinical trials have also concluded that vitamin D is beneficial at reducing the risk for other respiratory tract infections. It is also possible that vitamin D helps suppress a potentially deadly immune response called a cytokine storm, which can be brought on by severe viral infections such as COVID-19. The National Institute of Health recommends that the daily dose of vitamin D should be 400 to 800 international units depending on the individual, with a maximum upper limit of about 4,000 IUs. Of course, as with everything, too much vitamin D can cause problems, such as high levels of calcium in your blood, which could solidify and cause problems down the line. Regardless, it is clear that vitamin D is important for our health, and we must make sure that we are getting enough of it. Of course, I am not a health professional, so the only thing I can recommend is for you to go to your doctor and speak with them about your vitamin D levels. Thank you for watching today's video. If you learned something new, please give me a like and subscribe for new content every single week. My name is Evitar Fields, and as always, stay healthy, stay positive, and have a great day.